Welcome to the Greenway Outdoors Huntcast, the very first outdoor talk show and hunting and fishing adventure series. Hello and welcome to the Greenway Outdoors in the Woods Volume 2 Turkey Special podcast.
Yeah.
You gotta throw that in too, because this is technically a podcast. But I gotta tell you right now in the beginning, if you are listening to this on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or anything like that, go over to our friends at CarbonTV or check us out on YouTube so you can actually watch the video, because this episode's a little bit different. Now, typically when we go out on a hunting or fishing trip, we've got an entire camera crew with us and team to be able to film, edit, and do all those things. As you can imagine, you need a team of like 9 to get everything on camera for Jeffrey. The guy's weird. You need a lot of angles to get one that's good.
Yeah.
And he's not here to defend himself, so I'm just going to take cheap shots.
That's the best way to do it.
Absolutely. But you know, when you know you got a good friend. And the reason why Ryan could be here, and we're still social distancing to a degree, because we've been staying in the same house for weeks now.
Yeah.
So we're still following the orders. We're still social distancing.
Unlock your iPhone first.
I got to unlock my iPhone first. If you're ever wondering if the government's listening,
There you go.
there you go. So we'll go ahead and tuck that in. You know, I should get a lot of text messages too, because I sent a lot of turkey pictures out to some friends because we had a successful turkey hunt this morning.
We sure did.
Now, like I was saying, normally when we go out, we have a bunch of people with us, and that's because we're filming and getting everything that we need to for an actual show. Now, today it's just the two of us. So we just went out and we decided we were still going to film because the hope was, and this is more of a dream, was that we would find a way to get 2 birds to come in, shoot them together, and then record a podcast, including the hunt, followed by some good blabber from us, and then one of the best recipes you've ever had in your life that we've already recorded from turkey hunting from 2 years ago that we never aired.
Yep.
Well, the dream came true, which is 1 in a million.
Yeah.
So we went out, had all those things happen. In addition, we got to see the most beautiful wood ducks you ever saw. We got to see beautiful hens.
Yeah.
We got to see geese. We had a deer come right up in our grill, real close.
Yeah.
And we got to do all that from the comfort of our beautiful camouflage clothing where you can't see us, surrounded by vibrant red chairs that Ryan brought for us to sit in, to hunt in.
Yeah. Well, I had nowhere else to go to buy new ones, and
I know, we
I
couldn't
don't have
access
many
them.
excuses.
No, we hunted from red chairs. Well, we couldn't find them. The ones we've got up north, the ones we use in the blinds normally, we aren't technically legally allowed to drive up north to our up
Yeah.
north property to get anything. So we did kind of have to makeshift this, but I had to laugh. We had success in it. We saw red and so did the turkeys, but we
Yeah.
still made it happen. Inside the blind though, I will tell you, I don't know what it is, especially with turkeys, when you're in a good blind and you've got the windows blacked out behind you so they can't see shadows, you've only got the front couple open, you could be tap dancing in clown wear in there, and it's like there's like something between you that they just don't see you.
Yeah. I mean, it's like that with any animal. We had a couple of Tweety birds like land right on top of us in the screen.
Right.
It was hilarious.
It is. It's pretty cool. And that deer, I was like, how does he not scent us yet? And it wasn't
Oh,
until
yeah.
he got within like 5 yards of us. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude.
They stopped real quick.
What I don't like too is sometimes when the deer come in like that and they're near you and then the turkeys come in, you know, deer are smart and we're not deer hunting. So, you know, you can look at it like they're a confidence decoy, if you will, you know,
Yeah.
for the turkeys, but you can also look at it like if they get spooked because they scent you, which a turkey isn't going to scent you, then they spook,
Right.
which can spook the turkeys. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. So we went out, actually filmed the turkey hunt, and had success. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity
Yeah.
to have it work out the way that it did, and we're excited to share it with you now. Man, it's sunny, then dark, sunny, then dark.
I know. Love this Michigan weather. Now we have to wait for the snow, then the rain, then the lightning storm,
Yeah, a little bit.
then back to sunny. I was doing pretty good, but now I'm starting to feel a little chilled.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm pretty comfortable other than I sat in a puddle. So I am wet. I am wet like I made a mistake after eating a burrito.
Yeah. I know that.
But colder. It's so gross. What do you think of the gun?
The cannon, you mean? The good old 10 gauge side by side?
The old scatter gun.
This thing is massive.
Yeah, that's been a family heirloom for a while. I let you take it because it weighs about 19 pounds.
It is so heavy. So heavy.
Lucky for you, it doesn't kick at all.
Yeah, turkey load in a 10 gauge. Doesn't kick at all.
Yeah, you'll be good.
Be just like shooting a 22. Just make sure you cover up your nose.
I remember a time turkey hunting. First time I went up, I was like 16 years old. I had my license and I went up by myself up to Pete's property.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got up there, I was like, man, I gotta sight this in and make sure it's good. So I bought like the targets that look like have turkeys on them and stuff. I get set up in the middle of a field. I'm all by myself in the middle of nowhere, and I put in. I had a synthetic gun, shooting 3.5-inch Magnum shells out of a turkey choke, and I get on one knee, and at this point I'm 16, so I probably weigh like 94 pounds. I'll never forget. I pull the trigger, and I go, bah! It goes boom, and the next thing I knew, I was just on my back.
Flat on the ground.
I could not believe. I was like, okay, well now I know that that's gonna happen. It was like, and I went and looked. It was patterned well though. I was like, well, I'm glad I don't have to shoot again.
Yeah.
I was using Federal 3.5s with a synthetic Weatherby, but I still remember this as my first. It's pretty funny.
The good thing though with those loads is when you're shooting the turkey, that's all you care about. Like, so you don't feel much of anything else.
Yeah, you're like
much
distracted.
Of anything else. Yeah. So the pain gets set aside for the moment.
I've been fiddling with this thing all day.
Well, the fact that you can't get your garlic beef jerky open in this small little area doesn't hurt my feelings.
Oh. Hey. Birds. There's 5 birds. Is that 5 or 6? Move slow. Get your bazooka ready. Okay, I got the lead. You know what? You take the lead bird. I'll take the second bird. Okay. Hold. Let them separate. Yeah, let them. Okay, take the front 2 together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Got him. Yeah. People don't know that when you look at a fan, you can see how it's not a perfect circle across, how there's this raised area. And that's actually a telltale sign that it is a jake, which means it's a younger bird. Older bird would be a tom. So this is a younger one. He's not humongous. He's got little spurs on him. Looks like about maybe 4-inch, 5-inch beard. Not a huge bird, but a nice bird, and a bird that we're gonna eat and feast on. And that is just an awesome blessing. How cool. The Greenway Outdoors is brought to you by Ram Trucks, Motor Trend's back-to-back Truck of the Year. And by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. Dude, that was so cool.
That was awesome.
I mean,
I was very unsure. I was very hopeful, but very unsure at the same time that if we were going to be able to pull it off.
You mean once the birds came in or prior?
The whole time.
Yeah.
The whole time.
All of it. Yeah, to try and double up on camera, is always, a little difficult. But when they were coming in, I was like, man, I don't know, because they were all clumped together.
Very close.
And then we had our decoy out, and I was like, well, hopefully they'll come into that and get pretty startled. I had 2 hens and then the Jake. And sure enough, I saw them see him, and they were like real nervous, and then they all gobbled at once. And it's funny, a couple of the wood ducks were there, and then they took off because the gobble scared them. And I was like, I'm not sure how this is going to shake out, but sure enough, the front 2, and I was like, shoot the lead one. Oh wait, because it was like you're seeing all their heads line up, and you're looking for 2 distinct heads where you won't shoot one of the other ones, because with turkey hunting, it's not like grouse or timberdoodle or duck where you'll out a couple a day. It's like you shoot one a year.
And done.
So you got to make that count. I was a little nervous about it, but they separated. I was like, we're both going to shoot the right 2 birds at the same time. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
I think we almost did it in sync. It was like boom, boom.
Yeah. Almost.
Did I shoot first or did you?
You did.
Okay. That sounds like me. I counted too. The guy that counts always shoots first,
Yeah. And I don't really remember how it went. All I knew was I heard a gunshot. I'm like, oh, I got to go.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to watch it back.
Yeah.
To see it, but it was awesome. It was a cool day, and I'm getting text messages because I sent it all out to friends and family and stuff. And then today was the launch of our apparel company. And gear.
That's really cool too.
Not just apparel, but we've got Ramblers on there, and we've got a lot of cool things coming soon. So I'm actually sporting one of the hats right now that is for sale. You can go to thegreenwayoutdoors.com and get yours. But it was cool because I had to turn it on silent because it just launched this morning. So we were getting orders like boom, 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 and all these notifications. Cool. Yeah, it was neat. And then to be able to get a picture with this hat on,
with the turkey
while it's launching was like you could feel God all over this day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was really cool.
Yeah, he was here with us for sure. And actually, I wanted to tell you a story that wasn't as successful as today, as a turkey hunt that I did. It was my first year. I think I told you about it in the blind when I went out and patterned the gun. So that same trip, I remember I went out the first day. There was still some snow on the ground, and I was just looking around, and I checked all the different property. And I ended up finding some tracks around the 40, if you know that piece of property up there. And I found tracks, and I was like, okay, so this is where he was going, this is where he was coming from, and all that. So I didn't know what I was doing at all. So torture me if you want in the comments, but give me a break. I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, well, instead of doing anything else, these were tracks, which means they'd been here before. So I put my hen decoy right there and a Jake right there, and then I went and sat. And I sat the first day for 11 hours.
Holy smokes.
Didn't see a thing. Oh, I was dedicated. You know how much energy and excitement I have? Well, that equates to being able to sit for long periods waiting for something to happen, just giddy. And I was kind of discouraged after that day. Second day I go out, same thing. And there it's almost a Christmas, it used to be a Christmas tree farm, about 10 acres of the 40-acre plot. So they had come through the Christmas trees the first time, and then, their path went into the woods part. So I was like, well, I'll walk the Christmas trees and stuff as it was like sunset, because I was getting bored, and I was hoping that I would be able to see more of the woods as I was going up and down the rows, hoping to see where they would roost, because I read that's what you should do. So I was doing that, and as I was walking in, I'll never forget this, I heard all around me as I'm walking down the trail. And now it's dark as I'm walking back to the truck, and it was spooky, dude. I had never had an experience like that. There was coyotes all around me, and I had the flashlight, and I was going like this, and I was just seeing eyes go across the path and back and around, and I was like a movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, is this really happening? And I have you're trying to hold the flashlight. It was so funny too. I was 16, saved up all my money. I got the stupid turkey vest. I got the calls. I got all the gear, everything like that all packed on. And I got this big 12 gauge. And then I've got the flashlight, and I'm trying to hold, and I'm scared because I wouldn't be able to use the gun and the flashlight at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was real nervous, but I ended up walking to the truck, and they let me be, you know. So I go to bed that night and I'm exhausted, and the next day I remember I woke up late. I don't remember if it was the alarm or what it might have been, but I woke up and it was already like sunrise. I was like, oh my gosh, because I knew I had to be there early in the morning because it's likely that they were there, but I slept in, I was a little lazy, and honestly I think what it was I was discouraged from the day before.
Yeah.
So the moral of this lesson was I start walking up a hill, and there it's like you walk up a long hill. It's a long stretch. It's like long and narrow property. So I'm walking down this long stretch. The Christmas trees are on my left and the woods are on my right. And I peek up over the hill. So now my decoys are a good 250 yards away, maybe 200 yards away.
Mm-hmm.
And I peek up over the hill and I look, and there's extra decoys from the day before.
Okay.
I come up to it. As I approach, I realize one of them's a real turkey that disappears back into the Christmas trees as I was walking up. If I would have woken up, got my butt out of bed for the third day, even after sitting 11 hours 2 days in a row, and I would have been out there when I was supposed to be out there, I would have had the perfect shot at a turkey. But instead, I got lazy and discouraged. And, you know, in life, there's so many times where you lose faith, you go through difficult times, and a lot of people are dealing with those difficult times right now where they're losing faith. It's easy to lose faith in God and your government and each other. When you see people fighting over toilet paper in the streets, when you see these difficult things that are going on because of the crisis with COVID-19, and how people are getting so discouraged and turning to the government for handouts in hopes to get through, but feeling nervous and not trusting the government at the same time, and how being discouraged can cause you to sleep in, can cause you to work less, be slow, not do the things that you're meant to do. You know, we're put on this earth, you know, you're supposed to work 6 days and rest 1. You know what I mean? Not maybe 5 and 2 is okay. We don't know yet. You know what I mean? That's what we're doing right now. But maybe 4 and 3 is okay. I don't know exactly where it's not okay, but what we do know is God said 6 and 1. So that's probably a good formula. And at the end of the day, right now is a perfect opportunity for people to pull from this lesson and be like, you know what? The third day I should have woke up and put in the work again. I should have gotten my butt out of bed. I worked so hard to get to that position, spent ungodly amounts of money to get all the gear and stuff that I had, and to sleep in one day because I was discouraged from the, you know, couple days before. It cost me the final prize, you know, by quitting.
You watched it walk away.
It was the worst. And it's like 250 yards away, 200 yards away. There's nothing I can do. I just watched him disappear back in. I was like, I remember immediate regret, like just the feeling overwhelming. And what I don't want is for massive amounts of people in the country to feel that way too. And I would say that this opportunity is awesome for watching the Greenway Outdoors on TV, but in addition to sitting down and plopping down in front of the couch and watching TV, this is an opportunity for people to get out and explore their hobbies, get out and explore their goals. Goal set. Come up with ideas, just little things that you can do. If you spend 2.5 hours a day during this quarantine only focused on bettering yourself in some way, only focused on accomplishing something you couldn't otherwise do because you never had the time. You know, so many people say, I wish I could do this, I wish I could do that. I never have the time, never have the time. A lot of times it's business ideas or things like that. Man, do it.
You got the time now.
You got the time.
I saw this thing that it kind of frustrated me because the mentality, the idea of it was really frustrating. Where what you just said, where you see like posts about like, well, you've got all this time now, go do that business idea, work out more, do all these things to advance yourself, and like someone had put an edit on it and scratched out all those things and said, we're going through a pandemic, this is scary and you might be hurt by this, which you might be, but
so it was like saying the equivalent of forget what they're saying about going out and accomplishing your goals, sit at home because you have a right to be scared, basically.
Yes,
is what
yeah. And I that frustrated me so much that I mean, I guess they'll get what they have coming if that's their mentality on things, but it was just very frustrating to see that that's the way you think.
Well, it's really, they're not wrong that there's a pandemic and things could be bad for you.
No, not at all.
But if you've ever heard an analogy for glass half full, half empty, that is it. I mean, you choose what to focus on.
Yes.
So I remember my sister called me, and to her credit, my sister's typically a worrier.
Yeah.
And when she found out that there might be a government shutdown, she called me in a panic. Just, what does this mean? And, she's got 2 little girls, and, these things freak her out. And she normally calls me to kind of settle things. My mom does too.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah. And she's like, well, it could be terrible for Dad at work and this and that. I was like, yeah, I mean, realistic. I said, explain to me what you can conjure up in your head as the worst case scenario. And she thought about it, and she kind of gave me a couple different options. I said, okay, so what does that mean for the family? Okay, so how would we work that out if that happened? And I just kind of walked her through the different scenarios of what can happen. And obviously, there's a lot of uncertainty right now, but you can do that. And a lot of times, you can walk yourself through the worst case scenario and things and work it out and realize, okay, that's the worst case scenario. Now we know what will happen if that happens, and we'll be prepared for it, but let's focus on the good.
Right.
And that's what I said. I said, man, the gyms are closed. Okay, well, I tend to hate cardio typically, and I tend to love weightlifting. I said, but you know what? My running's about to get a lot better.
Right.
Because that's something I can do. So focusing on the good, and this isn't me to lecture anyone because I'm not perfect and neither is anybody else.
And we're not in your position.
No, but focusing on the good right now, it will go a long way for everybody. And if everybody did that, if everybody focused on the good and how they could help each other, and you see a lot of people like, the mentality of hoarding supplies is like to take care of you.
Yeah.
But if everybody shifted their mentality a little bit, that the idea of making sure there's enough supplies for everyone and also gaining supplies so they can help their neighbors, is just that little shift in thought that, like, instead of feeling like you're in World War III while you're at the Meijer or the Walmart, you can, feel like you're looking at the good in things and helping other people.
For sure.
And it's so funny. I was talking to my mom. I was like, man, when I went to the store, I made like 10 friends today. You know what I mean? Because like, if you're like kind and helpful, and you can help a lot of people. And as being young and in pretty good shape, I consider it my duty to, like, I'm in a pretty decent situation.
Be there for
health-wise. I can help more than say my dad or my grandfather if he was alive could. So that was just something that the story kind of equated to today.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. It saddens me to see people using this as an excuse or some sort of
way to fester in negativity.
Yeah. That makes me sad for them.
Yeah. To be honest with you, we just had one of the greatest hunts of our lives. That was awesome. I mean, we've hunted in Hawaii for axis deer, but then you come back to Michigan and to get 2 gobblers together, like that exciting moment, it's just, there's so much fun stuff you can still do.
That's actually a really good point. We've been on insane trips, done extraordinary things, and now we're stuck in cold weather. It was just raining a few minutes ago.
Right.
And we just shot 2 turkeys, and it was just as fun.
I had a blast.
And we're stuck in the pandemic, just like everybody else.
Right, but
we're having a good time.
Enjoying the fresh air too.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I think people should do more of that, is getting outside. Like, even if you don't like hunting, just being outside helps your soul.
One guy that's making the best out of it, I forgot his name for the life of me, but the owner and creator of Fortnite, the video game. So Fortnite, for those of you who don't know, is like this. You'd be better describing it considering you're like a master at it.
Yeah, I really like it. I like it a lot. I don't know. It's a video game, and you jump into this island, and there's a zone that circles around 100 people.
100 real people, though.
Yeah, you're playing against real people. They're characters.
Through the internet.
And you try to kill each other off one by one till there's one winner left.
So it's like...
It's a battle. It's called Battle Royale.
Sounds like Hunger Games.
Yeah. Yeah.
But through video games.
Yes.
Well, anyhow, he created it, and it's like the biggest craze. Everybody's playing it. Every millennial and Generation Z is into it. And can you play on Xbox and PlayStation? Or is it just PlayStation?
Like against each other?
Like in general, yeah.
Oh, in general, yeah.
So like people playing the game might have PlayStation, they might have Xbox, but they can all log in and play.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of...
And on PC too.
That's kind of cool.
They all play with each other. Yeah.
That is neat. But anyhow, so that video game, that guy is pretty interesting. What he did was he took a lot of the money that he made off of that video game, which was, I
lot
can't even
of
imagine.
money.
Yeah, the massive amounts. And he's using it to buy land in California to prevent it from being, bulldozed or industrialized, and keeping it for nature and conservation. So, something like this, and I use this term actually endearing, but like tree huggers tend to think like you just leave everything alone. Something everyone always says is like, leave forests alone. You know what I mean? Just leave everything the way it is. Humans shouldn't have interactive, control and hands-on conservation methods. They should just leave everything the way it is because that's the way it's meant to be. But that's not really the case with land, and we know that. So it sounds like he's actually doing, on this property, he's doing controlled burns, he's doing clear cutting, he's doing the things necessary to make new, vibrant, young woods in these ecosystems so that it supports the most amount of wildlife possible.
Yeah.
And then he's working on different ways to work with the Department of Fish and Game to either give them the land or sell them the land. It sounds like give them, though. It sounds like he's just trying to give it away. But he's making sure he's holding on to it until he knows exactly how, what they're going to do with it to make sure it's done properly.
Right.
So he's being protective over it. He didn't want to just buy it and then give it to him and then have it ruined. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I thought that was so cool, and what a neat way to use his money, because, there's something about, understanding how this stuff works through conservation. We talk about like the Rough Grouse Society, Pheasants Forever, who do a lot of that forest management stuff for upland game, and the importance of clear cutting, planting new trees, and creating young forests, and understanding how that works. It's just cool that he understands that, and he's acquiring property, protecting it, and then making sure it's used properly as well.
Yeah.
I just thought that was really cool.
It's really, well, I believe this is true, that he's not American.
Really?
Yeah, he's from Europe.
Okay.
So he is coming to America, buying the land, and then making it, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
And it's cool that he wants to come here to take care of it.
Right. And that reminds me, you actually do something interesting that I think people would find cool, is timberdoodle banding.
Yeah.
So I should do a harder D on that, banding. But banding timberdoodle or woodcock, and look it up if you don't know what it looks like, but here's also a picture of one. But they're a funny looking bird, and their walk is really cool. But it's an upland bird. We hunt them in Michigan. Tell us about what the banding process is and what that's like.
Yeah, so they're a migratory bird, and they, during the warmer weather in the north, they'll come back to Michigan, and then when it gets a little bit colder, they go down to Louisiana, those sorts of areas. They like that. But every time they come back in the spring, typically the woodcock hunters will go out in the spring and band the chicks.
Okay.
So they'll take their pointers out, because pointers won't attack the birds.
Right.
They'll just point the nest, and once they're hatched out, you can see them on the ground, which they're super hard to spot because they're like this big, and the only thing you can see, because they blend in so well, is their little beady eye.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be very careful not to step on them. But when they're born, I believe their legs are the same size as they are once they're an adult.
Really?
Yeah, so you can band them as chicks, and then it won't tighten around their leg or anything.
It'd be funny if a human was like that.
Yeah, very small legs. But they get banded, and they go about their life. That's it.
Yeah.
And then every band that you put on a woodcock, you report back to the DNR, and then they'll spread out. But it's interesting, the more as this goes on, the more they're learning, is that when the woodcock are born, they will fly to Louisiana or wherever in the south, and then come back to Michigan. They're regular migratory flies. And
They're flyway, yeah?
Yeah, they're flyway. And they will come back within like a mile of where they were born.
Really?
Yes.
So it's just programmed in them.
Yes. It's really cool and strange.
Right.
But because when they're hunted,
they don't even have an iPhone to do that.
No, they
it's
don't.
Crazy.
No GPS. When they're hunted and they have a band on, you're supposed to report it back to the DNR.
So to take a step back, basically the band is a little metal or plastic piece that goes around the ankle, which is why the leg size is so important. They put that around the ankle. It's got a number or code on it of some sort. The bird flies away. You let it go after doing that. You do it as a chick because you can touch them and
Yeah.
I guess they don't care
No,
about whether you touch them or not. Yeah. And then they go about their life, and then if someone hunts them and shoots them, they see that band, they report it, and then that gives data based on where they shot it, how old the bird is, and everything like that, and helps the scientists understand the population numbers and things like that a little bit better.
Yeah. You can look up the trends of the way it works and everything, and it was really interesting. I think after Hurricane Katrina, a lot of the big growth in the southern states was wiped out.
Really?
And so fresh, younger growth came in, and when that happened, they saw a pretty steep incline in the woodcock population.
Oh, okay.
Because they had more places to go nest.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And survive.
So,
Not nest, because
so the old growth, meaning like old forests and things like that, got wiped out.
Yeah,
so everything
like
had to start fresh and new again. And because all the woods were starting fresh and new again, you had the...
Yeah, it was just better habitat for them to live in.
That's cool. So the numbers bursted up because of that.
So even though it was terrible for humans, it was good for many more species other than woodcock.
Right. Now people might ask when they see that bird is, do you eat it? You know, that's a question I get about a lot of species. But you do. They're tasty.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Kind of a livery taste.
Yeah.
But I like them.
It's a hit or miss with some people, but I really like them. And surprisingly enough, and I'm sure people are going to be upset that I'm saying this, but when we hunted crow, and I had crow, their flavors are extremely similar.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't expect.
Right. Crow is good.
Crow
Anyway, you
was
cut
good.
it. We made crow kebabs. And yes, we're not using code words. Literally black crows.
Yes.
We hunted them and ate them. It's a legal thing. The seasons on them are huge. The bag limits, I think, are huge, if not unlimited. And you tell anybody and they look at you like you're nuts. You try them and eat them, and then you like them, and there's just nothing you can say about it. They were good.
It's a very, very dark meat.
You really got to get over
awesome.
chewing them, though. Like when you're like, man, I'm cutting into crow right now.
Yeah.
It was something to get over mentally.
The first bite was strange, but I really, really liked it.
Crow kebab, season 2 of the Greenway Outdoors, we did that.
Yeah, a while ago.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That was when we all got that flu.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that was the worst. Everyone was just dying. You were the only one that never puked.
I was the only one who didn't.
You said you felt like you had to puke.
Oh yeah, the whole ride home, I had a bag the whole time.
I thought I was
gonna
die.
puke.
I remember. Remember we stopped for ice cream and I didn't even get any?
I know. I couldn't believe it.
You know I'm dying then.
Yeah.
No, it was rough. But speaking of recipes, at the end of this episode, because this is our turkey and now upland special, we're actually going to show you a recipe that was from season 2 or 3 that never aired.
I think it was 3. But
it is the best boneless wild turkey buffalo wings you will ever have in your life. They are absolutely 100% delectable. That's the only word I can think of.
No, they were awesome.
Oh my
really,
God.
really good.
They were the best wings I have ever had in my life. I mean, they're just so good. So that recipe is going to be coming up shortly, and I cannot wait to hear your messages back. Message us below, comment, like, subscribe, and let us know, did you like this recipe? Have you tried it yet? Or are you just looking forward to it? Because it would replace Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm just going to put that out there.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
Dude.
It was really good.
You know, another thing I wanted to cover, too, was I went to Meijer to buy my turkey license. And when I went in, a tag that you can get in the southern part of Michigan, it's called a ZZ tag. It's the zone. It's basically for the whole season. This year it's really relaxed as far as the things go. It used to be like certain weeks and stuff, but now it's like from now until May 31st we can hunt, starting, mid-April. And I went in and there's always a whole mess of those tags.
Yeah.
Like they're super easy to get. And I got it from the guy and he goes, "Oh, there's only, I think he said 200 and something left." And I was like, "What?" Because normally the countdown on those is ridiculous. Like, we never even sell them all, I don't think. I don't think we ever hit quota. And I was like, "Are you serious? There's only a couple hundred left." So I called it.
They don't tell you the number either. So it was strange that he was telling you because it was that low.
Well, with the new system that the DNR implemented at the Meijer that I went to, and I guess a lot of the different places, they see all that now, whereas they didn't before. So he told me because he was just talkative. And I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" So I called everyone. I was like, "You better go get your tag now. We got to go." You know what I mean? It's a rush. And I was like, he's like, "I've been working here for 5 years. I've never seen the turkey numbers go that low ever." And I was like, "Do you have any idea why?" He's like, "No, not really." And I'm driving home thinking about it. I said, "You know why it is? Is because turkey hunting is something you can actually still do during this quarantine as long as you're following the rules and you're not driving up north or whatever, and you're still on your property, especially the ZZ. So in Michigan, for those of you who don't know, it's like we have something called going up north. And basically, most people live from here down, you know. And
He's doing the state of
Yeah,
That's how we do maps in Michigan.
Yep, so from here down pretty much is where a majority of the people live. And then a lot of people have cabins and stuff on lakes up here or pieces of property, and they call it going up north. So everyone goes up north in the summer to the cabin, to the lake or whatever, and that's just the term we use. Well, you can't go up to your up north house. So then I was thinking, I was like, oh, well, the tag we're buying is for the below area, not up north. So most people are staying home, but if they still want a turkey hunt, that's where they'd have to get their tag.
Right.
In addition to that, more people are turkey hunting because they got the time to turkey hunt. Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably why the license sales went the way they did, but I found that really interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure that's my initial thought was like maybe the panic was still on where people are like, oh, I gotta be able to hunt my food.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Oh yeah, like the turkey is a source of food.
Yeah, I think it's definitely more so.
It's got more value when you can't buy chicken.
Yeah.
It's definitely got more value then.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's more so just people have time.
Yeah.
But my initial thought was just maybe a lot of people are getting into it.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Because they see it as a survival tactic.
They're like, so you can eat these, right? They do.
Yeah.
So it's like a turkey. You mean like you can eat it. That's actually pretty funny. It's interesting. Well, hopefully you'll get out and go out and do some turkey hunting as well. And when you do, all you need is some flour, some pancake mix, which is my secret recipe. Well, I'm not going to tell you the whole recipe, but all you need is a couple key ingredients that you should still be able to get at your supermarket. And oh my gosh, you will fall in love with wild turkey again. Try it with a regular turkey if you're not successful, because it is a recipe you need to do and enjoy. I want to thank you so much for tuning in to the Greenway Outdoors podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode, our number 2 quarantine in the woods with Ryan and Kyle. AJ and Jeffrey will hopefully be able to leave their houses soon, as well as everybody else, as we get back to normal and be able to do our podcast in studios again.
Yeah.
But until then, we thank you so much for tuning in. Stay green. Hello and welcome back to the Greenway Outdoors Kitchen. Today is one of my fan favorite recipes. We're gonna be deep frying, making turkey buffalo wings. This is a great recipe to trick people into trying wild game and getting them to realize it's actually pretty good. Now let's get started. You'll start by cutting your turkey breast into bite-sized chunks and then soak them in milk for at least 8 hours. Next, you'll salt and pepper them. I also like to add a little Cajun seasoning to give the meat a little kick. Next, you'll bread the meat with 1/3 flour, 1/3 pancake mix, and 1/3 cornmeal. Just trust me. Now we'll move over to our deep fryer or frying pan with oil deep enough to submerge the turkey. You'll want the temperature to be 375 degrees and you'll cook for about 6 minutes. You'll know they're done when they start to float and all the pieces are golden brown. The next step is really a fielder's choice, and that's when it comes to the sauce. I prefer medium buffalo, but everyone likes something different. Garlic parmesan is a close second for me. Add some ranch and celery sticks and they're ready to be served. Now those look fantastic, and if you were to serve these at any party or any gathering, they're sure to be a hit, but let's give them a try. Wow. If that doesn't make you want wild game, I don't know what will. Try this recipe. If you'd like to see another recipe similar to this one or any of our other variety of recipes, go to thegreenwayoutdoors.com. We'd love to hear from you on Facebook or Instagram. Let us know an episode you'd like to see. Thanks so much for tuning in, and stay green.